Hi, Ape Nation. This is Clay from Finance News. I just finished watching this crazy interview with Charles Payne that exposed the fact that the market is rigged. You guys have to see this, but before I play it for you, please smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe so we can spread this video like wildfire. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Alrighty, guys, let's listen to Payne.
It's crushing Wall Street. Maybe that's why Wall Street won't change the rules. I'm going to bring in Rob Luna, CEO of SureVest, a CI financial company. And Rob, here's something really intriguing. The shrinking number of Wall Street analysts. I mean, fewer and fewer companies are getting coverage. And obviously, without coverage, that means there are no buy recommendations, no one to really pump up the stock. What does that mean? Does it really mean that is that bad for stocks? Or how do you find opportunities when Wall Street's not covering these names?
Well, I mean, look, Charles, they're not shrinking fast enough, in my opinion. And when you talk about, Wall Street analysts, they've been wrong for a long time. And you talk about their ability to put out good recommendations. When you look at all the Wall Street analysts, they're always buy recommendations. Charles, these guys, their pockets are being lined by the same companies that they have to recommend or put a sell recommendation out on. That's why, in general, less than 10% of recommendations are sells. I just looked at FactSet before I came on. It's about 6% now. So the average investor is becoming more and more educated, more information out there. They don't need these guys to make investment decisions.
So I referenced the Wall Street settlement, 2003. At least 10 large firms had to pay massive fines, and for at least a year, they had to send out duplicate research from an independent firm. I know because my firm, we won contracts for 5 of those firms. Yeah. You're saying that you think this continues, that this sort of nefarious getting paid for research continues today on Wall Street?
It's absolutely continuing. I mean, you were talking about it before, Charles. Look, we know the game is rigged, but that's the whole thing about looking at it. If you know the game is rigged, you know how to play it. That's going to continue. The traditional Wall Street system is against the average investor, but the average investor is more armed with the same information that's available today. People like you who are bringing in, talking about dark pools, the average investor does not need these guys. Now, look, if you're trying to trade on a tick-by-tick basis, you're not going to get access to dark pools. You're not going to be able to do that, but you don't need to do that today as an investor.
All right. So maybe this is one reason why so many folks have piled into passive investing, right? Yep. And this is when you just say, I'm going to buy an ETF that matches the market. Warren Buffett likes it, he says, because in his mind, the average person cannot beat the market. But some analysts at Bernstein were saying that they were worried that, quote, a supposedly capitalist economy where the only investment is passive is worse than either a centrally planned economy or an economy with active market-led capital management. In other words, they're saying that this thing is worse than socialism, buying passive funds. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know if it's worse than socialism, but I'll put it this way, Charles. When you look at the passive index investor, a lot of people who have been there have really significantly underperformed. If you look at the S&P index today, valuations are not going forward, and that's where traders have to do is going forward. I've been talking about a name like Facebook that's rallying today. That's a company that's been trading at the same valuation as the S&P, but growing 10 times as fast. Everyone knows Facebook. Why not put your money in companies you understand that are doing better? You don't have to be an analyst or a rocket scientist to find names like Facebook to invest in.
Guys, did you hear that? He said we all know the market is rigged. That is ridiculous. On to some other news. This was posted by Mr. Chico 1990. Since Gensler started, all sorts of things have happened at the SEC that directly pertain to enforcement actions. A lot of people involved in the enforcement process have been getting replaced specifically because of the problems we talk about on this sub. Regulatory capture, literally jerking off instead of doing their jobs. The SEC isn't some monolithic entity, it is a bunch of people in charge of enforcing the law. When those people choose not to do their jobs, it means the laws aren't enforced. Gensler was the first among many necessary replacements to undo the damage done to the SEC under and by the previous administration. There are checks and balances for a reason. Government moves slowly for a reason. Unfortunately, when nefarious actors have been getting installed for at least 4 years straight, it takes at least a few months for a new person to fully assess the situation from the inside and replace as many of the dirtbags as possible. I've seen plenty of random postings sit unfilled for longer than a few months, and these are some of the most challenging positions to fill in the entire federal government. How many people know enough about the issues at play to be qualified to build a legal case on the issue? Of those people, how many are willing to take a government job that likely doesn't pay as well as what they could make in industry? Of those people, how many are actually going to enforce the laws rather than serve the industry leaders' interests? I am anxious for this to be resolved too, but this is what it looks like for government to move very quickly in the direction we want. TLDR, the SEC isn't a single person who can just start doing things. It is just a bunch of government workers and dozens of them needing replacing. Replacing dozens of people in powerful government positions is a slow process, so the fact that they've been able to accomplish even this much in a matter of months is truly impressive. Let me know what you think, guys. All right, that's it for today's video. Make sure to go down to the bottom of the page, tap that thumbs up button for me, and subscribe to the channel. And while you're down there, go get yourself some money by signing up for BlockFi. BlockFi is the easiest way for you to earn money with crypto. Using BlockFi, you can earn up to 7.5% in interest per year with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many more. Also, using our link in the description, you can get up to $250 in free Bitcoin for just signing up and making a deposit. Check it out. I'm Clay for Finance News. See you guys next time.